Chapter 299, Defeat in One Battle. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. Zhang Yuochen, get out here. Get out here. Yan Yanhuan kicked down the copper door. It cracked into several giant pieces, flew out and landed within the mansion. He took 2 quick steps forward and rushed crazily into Zhang Yuochen's practice mansion. With one swing of his sword, a streak of sword breath flew out and sliced a 2-story pavilion in two. Boom! The wooden pavilion collapsed into a pile of rubble. The giant crash alerted the students of the Internal Academy. A number of internal students gathered outside of Zhang Yuochen's practice mansion, but no one dared to go in to stop Yan Yanhuan. After all, his cultivation preceded him. Who could block a strike from his sword? There were even a few students who just wanted to watch the show. They were hoping that Yan Yanhuan would kill Zhang Yuochen with one strike. Zhang Yuochen offended Master Yan. Much like plucking the hair from a tiger's ass, it was a road that could only lead to death. Kulin watched the mansion from afar with gloating eyes. Kulin had been waiting for this day since Yan Yanhuan arrived in Omen Ridge. Kulin had once fought with Yan Yanhuan before. He knew how powerful he was. Given Zhang Yuochen's strength, he was far from an even match. Boom! Yan Yanhuan struck out with a fist, releasing a strong wave of genuine qi. His strike broke a rock, dozens of meters high, into rubble. It sank into the lake. Where is Zhang Yuochen? Where is he hiding? Yan Yanhuan's hair was in disarray and his eyes were red. He stormed through the mansion as if he was going to tear the whole place apart. Master Yan, this is where my master secludes himself for refining. You should leave quickly. If you don't, I will report this to Master Lei. Kong Xuan could feel his strength. It felt like a giant ocean whereas she was just a mere leaf floating within it. A wave of his hand could kill her. But she felt no fear. She approached him in the hope of stopping his entry. A mere serving girl dares to block my path. You're looking for death. Ugh! Yan Yanhuan let out a roar. A sound wave flew from his mouth. Less than half a meter away, Kong Xuan suddenly began bleeding from all 7 orifices and flew backward. Her slender body smashed into the wall, leaving a streak of blood. Ah! She placed her hands on the ground and tried to climb up with great difficulty. Yan Yanhuan walked over and placed a foot on Kong Xuan's back. He rested his sword on her neck. The sharp edge of the sword left a deep cut on her throat. I'll ask one more time. Where is that turtle, Zhang Yuochen, hiding? Yan Yanhuan roared. The door of the secret practice room flew open. Swish! A human shadow flew out. The shadows converged and formed into Zhang Yuochen's body. Zhang Yuochen rested his hands behind his back and stared at Yan Yanhuan. He spoke in a cold voice. Yan Yanhuan, this is my practice mansion. It is no place for your wild behavior. Yan Yanhuan saw Zhang Yuochen and suddenly began to laugh like a madman. He removed the sword from Kong Xuan's neck. Zhang Yuochen, you coward. You actually dare to come out. You tricked me out of 2 million spiritual crystals. Did you think that the Yan family would sit back and do nothing? Do you think we are so easily bullied? Today, I will teach you who is truly the more powerful one. Yan Yanhuan rushed over. Breaking out a speed of 260 meters per second, he was in front of Zhang Yuochen in a flash. Circulating his genuine qi, he struck his sword toward Zhang Yuochen's heart. Yan Yanhuan's strike, which appeared to be almost as fast as the speed of light, was very slow from Zhang Yuochen's perspective. Zhang Yuochen stood his ground and did not move. He merely leaned slightly to one side to avoid the sword. At the same time, he quickly struck out with his palm and landed it on Yan Yanhuan's chest. With a bang, Yan Yanhuan took a heavy hit and flew backward. Yan Yanhuan could only feel an intense pain in his chest. It felt as if his 5 internal organs had been shattered. It was this strike that cleared his mind and stopped him from underestimating Zhang Yuochen. I am 375th on the Earthboard. How could I be forced back by a no-name junior? Unacceptable. He realized he had been too careless in his thinking. Zhang Yuochen was actually very powerful. Zhang Yuochen stopped in front of Kong Xuan and helped her get up. He gave her a healing pill and dismissed her to heal herself. Chen Xie and Huang Yanjun also arrived at this moment. They burst into the practice mansion. Chen Xie saw that Kong Xuan was hurt. She assumed Yan Yanhuan was about to go on a killing spree, so she scolded loudly, Yan Yanhuan, stop. This is the school of the martial market. Don't do anything rash. Huang Yanjun pulled out her sword and pointed it toward Yan Yanhuan. In a cold voice she said, Yan Yanhuan, if you dare to hurt even a single hair on Zhang Yuochen's head, I will make sure you die painfully. Yan Yanhuan was almost angry enough to spit blood. Clearly, he had just been hit and taken internal damage, yet they were still helping him. It was reasonable that Huang Yanjun would be on Zhang Yuochen's side. After all, she was his fiancée. But, why was Chen Xie also helping him? Is it possible that Chen Xie, Huang Yanjun, and that idiot Zhang Yuochen all worked together last night to trick me at the auction? The more Yan Yanhuan thought about it, the angrier he became. He became more and more convinced that Chen Xie had something going on with Zhang Yuochen. Completely ignoring the two girls, he once again attacked Zhang Yuochen. Zhang Yuochen, you stole what belonged to me, so you must die. Yan Yanhuan gnashed his teeth. Fiery anger burned in his heart. He would kill Zhang Yuochen, the bastard, even if he had to offend the school of the martial market. Sword Flurry. Yan Yanhuan executed a superior class spiritual stage sword technique. His genuine chi surged out, fusing with the spiritual chi in the air to suddenly create a vision of heaven and earth. Flurries of snow began to fall over the entire practice mansion. Several meters of snow. Streaks of sword breath surged out from the sword, forming a giant vortex. The vortex emitted a giant wail as if it was about to swallow Zhang Yuochen whole. Even Chen Xie and Huang Yanjun, who were standing far away, could feel the effects of the powerful sword breath. Crack. The sword breath left small cuts on their bodies. They had no choice but to retreat from the practice mansion. They were not strong enough to stop Yan Yanhuan. That's the Yan family's superior class spiritual stage martial technique. Sword Flurry sword technique. I didn't know Master Yan had already practiced it to the success level. That's incredible. No wonder he has such a high ranking on the Earth board. I bet even a warrior of the Heaven Realm couldn't block one of his strikes. Kulin sighed in admiration. Kulin ranked top 5 in the internal academy of the martial market school, but in front of Yan Yanhuan, he felt quite insignificant. Oh no. This brute used the sword flurry sword technique. Does Zhang Yuochen even have a chance? Chen Xie clenched her fists tightly. Her eyes shone with worry. She had invited Yan Yanhuan to suppress Huang Yanjun and Zhang Yuochen, but she didn't want to actually kill Zhang Yuochen. Huang Yanjun was also very worried. Each time she wanted to rush into the practice mansion, Chen Xie stopped her. Chen Xie said, "Calm down. Zhang Yuochen is not weak. Even if he isn't a match for Yan Yanhuan, there's an opportunity for him to escape. If you go in, you'll die for sure." "I can't stand it." Huang Yanjun was extremely worried. Her face was very serious. If Yan Yanhuan actually killed Zhang Yuochen, she would make the whole Yan family suffer cruel consequences. After a moment, the strange snow disappeared. A mournful and desperate cry could be heard from within the mansion. "Yan Yanhuan, don't think you're anything special just because you're the heir to the Yan family. I won't rest today until one of us is dead." Huang Yanchen thought that Zhang Yuochen had already been defeated. She ran through the door with her sword in her hand. But, just as she rushed in, she jolted to a halt. Zhang Yuochen remained standing where he was, with not even a hair out of place. However, Yan Yanhuan was lying on the ground spitting up mouthfuls of blood. His clothes were all ripped and there was a giant bloody handprint on his chest. Yan Yanhuan struggled to get up for a while but was unable to rise from the ground. A look of terror remained on his face. Could he not stand up to even one of Zhang Yuochen's strikes? How could this be? He could not be reconciled. Chen Xie ran in next. Seeing the scene before her, she couldn't process what had happened. The only question in her mind was, how did this happen? Yan Yanhuan had actually lost to Zhang Yuochen, and he had lost very badly. He was one of the top 500 masters on the Earth board, a prodigy of the younger generation. How could someone like Zhang Ruochen match him? Zhang Yuochen glanced coldly at Chen Xie. "Senior sister apprentice Chen, you saw with your own eyes that Yan Yanhuan trespassed into my practice mansion, causing a disturbance and injuring my serving girl. I was going to kill him with one strike, but I spared him for your sake. Take him away." I hope this will not happen again. Chen Xie was slightly numb. She found that it was even more difficult to understand Zhang Yuochen. A prince from an inferior commandery had defeated the heir of the Yan family. It was unthinkable and unfathomable. Suddenly the elder from the Yan family rushed in from outside. Young master, what happened? The elder held the heavily injured Yan Yanhuan and fed him a healing pill. The elder could not let out a breath until Yan Yanhuan's color returned to his pale face. Zhang Yuochen, you dared to harm the heir of the Yan family. Are you aware that if the Yan family were to give the order, you and your Yanwu commandery would disappear overnight? The elder spoke with great anger. The internal students once again showed their gloating upon hearing the elder's words. The Yan family was a third-class family with the half-cent as their head. No matter how powerful Zhang Yuochen was, if he offended the Yan family, things would not go well for him. Huang Yanchen sneered coldly. The Yan family certainly knows how to boast. Can they kill whoever they want? Are you aware that Zhang Yuochen is my fiancé, the prince consort of Cayenne's Yue commandery? Besides, it is clear that Yan Yanhuan trespassed into Zhang Yuochen's practice mansion and caused a disturbance first. It is only because he was not accomplished that he lost to Zhang Yuochen. Zhang Yuochen has already given the Yan family plenty of face by not killing him. What more do you want?